Good morning. Today is Tuesday. Chav Gimel Adar Sheni Tavshin Ayin Dalet. We are in Teres Menachem Sefer Mamar Tavshin Yud Aleph Tavshin Yud Beis. With the Mamar of Achron Shel Pesach Tavshin Yud Beis Kimei Tzeischo, and we are up to three lines from the bottom of page Reish Samach Beis V'Yodua. Yeah. So the Rebbe here asked why in this pasuk, in this verse, Kimei Tzeischo Me'eretz Mitzrayim Aran in the floors, like the days that you went out of Egypt, I will show him wonders, referring to the time when Mashiach will come, the Geula Asida, the future redemption. What's the point? What is the uniqueness of the Exodus from Egypt that we mention it even when that the miracles that will be when Mashiach comes will be like the days when we left Egypt? We know that the future redemption will be in a much greater level, much higher. Another question that I've asked was, Ar-enu, I will show him. Like the days you left Egypt, I will show him wonders. And the Rebbe brought from the Zohar that it refers to Moshe Rabbeinu, but the Pirush HaPashut, the simple meaning is that it refers to the Yidden. And it seems that it doesn't, grammatically, it doesn't follow Kimei Tzeischo Me'eretz Mitzrayim, Ar-enu, I'll show him. I've also asked, what's this emphasis on Ar-enu? I will show him wonders. It seems that the emphasis is on the showing of the wonders rather than the wonders themselves. So the Rebbe began to explain that there are different types of miracles. Miracles that are completely beyond nature, that defy nature, and then there are miracles that are clothed within nature. And in the miracles that are clothed within nature, there are two types. One is that, although they're clothed in nature, we could see that the miracle, looking at the story, we could see a miracle took place. Like, for example, Chanukah and Purim. And then there are miracles that are so clothed in nature that nature conceals on the miracle. We're not even aware that a miracle is taking place. So 3 lines from the bottom at the end of the line on page Reish Samach Beis. V'Yodua, it is known, the source of miracles that are clothed within nature, is from a much higher place than the source of miracles that are beyond nature. Miracles that are clothed within nature come from a place that's higher than miracles that defy nature. Right? But we mentioned that within nature itself, miracles within nature itself, there are 2 types. And the source of miracles that are clothed within nature in such a manner that it's not even obvious that the garments of nature are merely a garment for the miracle, it comes from in a higher place. So in other words, the less obvious the miracle, the higher the source from where it comes. That's the point. As it says in the verse, in Tehillim, the one who performs great miracles for himself. What does that mean, that he performs great miracles? What does it say? Have a look in the Siddur, in the Haidu, before on the Shabbos davening, in the Shabbos davening. What does it say there? That's from Kapitel Kuf Lamed Vav in Tehillim. Right? What does it mean? Who alone performs great wonders. That's the simple meaning. The Eibishter who alone performs great miracles. In the deeper sense, and this is from the Gemara says, It's not only that he performs the miracles alone, but rather he performs the miracles by himself. Almost, in other words, nobody else is aware of it. Only he is aware that the miracle was performed. Who is the one that performs it? Hashem. As it says in the verse, the one who performs miracles alone. And our sages say in the Talmud in Nida, afilu balanes ein makir benisei. Even the one for whom the miracle is performed doesn't recognize that a miracle is taking place. Shehasherish deniflois elu. So how does the Rebbe teach this? How does Chassidus define this saying in the Talmud? That the source of these wonders, she'ein balanes makir benisei, the source of the wonders, that the one for whom the miracle is performed doesn't even know that the miracle is happening. It comes from a level known as what? As levadai, alone. What does it mean alone? Hashem himself. Right? The very essence of Hashem. This now, we can now understand what is the pasuk saying to us. What is the innovation that the pasuk says, Ar'enu niflos, that when Mashiach will come, I will show you wonders. What was the question? The question was, what's the emphasis on showing the wonders? It seems to be not that the pasuk emphasizes so much that the wonders, great wonders will take place, but rather the showing of the wonders. Now we understand that. This is the innovation that will take place when Mashiach comes, that the wonders will be shown. Because the wonders that will take place in the future redemption, they will be drawn down, they will come from where? From Hashem himself. As our sages say in Medrash, in the past, when in the past, during the exodus of Egypt, I and my heavenly court walked before the Eden. Meaning to say what? That it was Hashem with his bezdin. Meaning to say Hashem as he manifests himself in a lower level, so to speak. And that was what was prevalent and present with the Eden when they left Egypt. But in the time to come, ani levadi, I will be there by myself, Hashem says. What does that mean? The hanisim shayu b'tzias Mitzrayim, the miracles that took place when we left Egypt, nimshechu mimeni yisbarich derech beis dinei, were drawn down and manifest from him through his heavenly court. Meaning to say, a manifestation. Hashem, as it were, shrunk himself and caused himself to be manifest through a lower level. But v'hanisim shebegula hasidah, the miracles that will take place in the time to come, will be from Hashem himself, not via his bezdin, undiluted, Hashem himself. And this is the innovation of I will show him wonders. The hagam shahaniflois animshochem emenis baruch levadehim b'derech klal be'efen shehu levadi yidei shezones. For although the wonders that come from Hashem himself, as we just mentioned, right? That the miracles that Hashem performs, Hashem himself performs, which are such miracles that are from Hashem himself, and you're not even aware that the miracle takes place. So usually, the higher the level, and when you go to the highest level, the miracle that takes place is in such a manner that you're not even aware that the miracle takes place. That's the usual thing, the usual way. Nevertheless, these miracles will be in such a way that I will show him the wonders. It'll be seen in a revealed way, the miracle in the phenomena in which they present themselves.
The emphasis seems to be I will show the wonders, rather than the base thing will show the wonders.
Well, let's put it this way. The Mamar Chazal from Medrash that it brings over here, Hashem versus Hashem and his bezdin, is about being present among the Jewish people. The Rebbe is connecting that to the Lo'isin Neflois G'deres Lavadi, right? So the Rebbe, what's the point that Rebbe is saying? The point that Rebbe is saying is like this: the less obvious the miracle is, the higher its source.
When you say that, the less obvious. So you're saying this is something beyond Purim?
Yes, absolutely.
This is beyond Purim because there was an obvious revelation of the miracle. So what would be an example of a miracle from the higher source that was even from, obviously it's come from a higher source that was beyond, that's beyond Purim. So what would be an example?
When you go through your day and things work out the way they should in the natural course of things, all the suppliers supply, all the debtors pay. You know the story with the guy that came and things were very, very bad. He says, "Oh, things are terrible." He says, "Why are things so terrible?" He says, "I had one customer today. Only one customer bought a coat. Comes the next day and says, how are things?" He says, "They're even worse." He says, "How can it be worse?" He says, "The guy came back and gave back the coat." Right? So
You've been spying on me again. How do you know this?
my son comes to you for saying. He's the guy that returned the coat.
Yes.
He didn't even pay for the coat that you gave him. That's even worse. Anyway, he returned the coat, he didn't pay. He asked for a refund. He sold it to you. So, the Eis and Flesh, those Levad means, imagine, I don't know. Imagine a guy is walking down the street and the scaffolding collapses behind him.
No, I get it. He
He doesn't even know. He moves on.
I get it. So it's beyond Purim. It's actually
Beyond Purim. Purim, in the narrative, looking back, you could see, wow, this is unbelievable.
This is without looking back. This is kicking straight.
Things are just happening the way they should, and you don't happen to be in the wrong time in the wrong place. Let's put it that way. Okay, maybe that's not a good description of it, but when things are just the way they should be.
Like when a guy gets off a doomed airplane.
Precisely. Or he makes a reservation and he cancels it. Or he makes a reservation, it's suggested, take this flight, and he says, no, I'll take the other flight.
Yeah.
Like that email that everybody got concerning this, the guy who didn't want to fly on Shabbos, right? Well, maybe that's already...
It's a bit more revealed.
It's a bit more revealed.
It's stuff that you just can't see.
Yeah, it just...
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, if you really want to think about it, you mentioned creation. Think about creation for a minute. Imagine if you were born in year 2 in the desert, when the Jews went out of Egypt. And your frame of reality for the next 38 years is that you wake up in the morning and you know that during the night food falls from the heavens and you take a bucket, you go out of the camp, you collect all your food, and you have food to the next day. This happens day in, day out, besides Shabbos. Because on Friday, you get 2, you get double. This is your frame of reality for the next 38 years. Then, 38, you turn 38, and you go into Eretz Yisrael. And what happens now? The bread stops falling from the heavens. Now you have to take seeds, and you have to plant them. And you have to plant them. How are you going to look at it? Your frame of reality, you don't know anything else other than the fact that bread falls from the heavens. That's normal. You come now to Eretz Yisrael, and you're told, what do you need to do? You need to take seeds and you need to plant them in the ground. Are you serious? You mean to tell me I'm going to take proper seeds, proper food, put it in the ground, wait until it rots away, and wait, and it'll grow? So it's all about perspective. If you're... What's that?
They'll not come and steal it from me there, it is wrong.
Oh, you must have had a bad experience.
Yeah.
Anyway. And as it's all, they'll even steal the food that comes from the heavens even before it hits the ground. Anyway, they'll figure it out. The bottom line is, it is all about what you're accustomed to. Nature, as Ronnie says, and in fact, when we talk about nature, where does nature come from? Nature, in fact, is rooted in the very essence of Hashem. It's only not a miracle for us because we're used to it. But if your frame of reality, if your experience is X, then a new experience, a distinctly different experience, what's it about? Right? So in fact, that's rooted in the higher Madrega. So the bottom line is, these are the Nekudas Inyan is, what's the point? The point is the more concealed, the less obvious the miracle, the higher its source. Hine, chapter 2, another few lines. Yedua, it is known hadiyuk. The choice of language, or rather it's pointed out in Chassidus, Mashakosov, that which it says in the verse, Kimei Tzeischo me'eretz Mitzrayim, like the days you left Egypt. In this verse it says Kimei. What does it mean Kimei? How long did it take for the Jews to leave Egypt? They left. As soon as they crossed the border, they were gone. Didn't take long. They left on one day. Right? In the middle of the day. How long did it take to leave Egypt? One day, or even less than a day, right? So what does it mean, Kimei? Like the days that you left Egypt? Kimei l'sharabim, in the plural. Harei Yetzias Mitzrayim, the question that's brought in Chassidus is, the exodus of Egypt, it was in one day. And indeed, when we mention the exodus of Egypt, when we say the Sheish Zechiris, the 6 things that we need to remember, at the end of davening, we say the Sheish Zechiris, it says, remember this day that you left Egypt. So over there, the pasuk itself says what? The day you left Egypt. So that you can remember the day that you left Egypt. Why in our verse does it say what? Kimei Tzeischo, the days you left Egypt. V'yesh says the Rebbe. One answer could be Habir Bazeh. The B'yitzias Mitzrayim Nichol Gam Kriyas Yamsuf. That in the exodus of Egypt is included also what? The splitting of the sea. Why the splitting of the sea? Because the Jews were not clear of Egypt, if you will, of the threat of Egypt, until the sea split and they crossed and they drowned and they moved on, right? So therefore, when was Kriyas Yamsuf? When was the splitting of the sea? On the seventh day of Pesach. So Yitzias Mitzrayim was not complete until then. And so too, when we mention Yitzias Mitzrayim every day, the exodus of Egypt, also included in that is the commemoration to remember the splitting of the sea. So too, when we talk about the mitzvah of telling the story of the exodus of Egypt, when? On the night of Pesach, the top of Reish Samach Dalet, the one who tells the story, elaborates in the story of the exodus of Egypt, is praised. Also, the story of the exodus of Egypt is included in what? In the telling of the story. Also, the splitting of the sea is included in the narrative, in the story that we tell when? On Pesach night. That is why, when we say, like the days you left Egypt, the days in the plural, because it includes also what? The splitting of the sea. And the Rebbe is going to go on and explain, if that's the case, why does it say Yom? Now the question becomes the other way around. Why in the other verses does it say Yom in the singular? So that the Rebbe will explain in the next section.